Today, I'm sharing the writing steps I take when starting a new story. This is the method I personally use, and I recommend it to any writer about to begin a new project. Step 1. Capture inspiration. Whenever a new story idea hits me, I write it down immediately. Everything I can think of that's related to that idea. Nothing gets left out. At this stage, there's no need for clarity or structure. Don't need themes, outlines, or even character names yet. It's okay if the idea is vague, messy, or fragmented. If an idea really excites me, more thoughts usually follow. When that happens, I'll create a separate project just for that story. At this point, all I have is a pile of scattered ideas, thrown together with no order. But that's more than enough to serve as a starting point. So in my mind, collecting inspiration is actually step 1. Step 2. Organize the ideas and build a foundation. Now it's time to bring some order to the chaos and identify what can actually support a full story. This means roughly outlining things like the premise, characters, tone, atmosphere, themes, and side plots. Everything here is temporary and can be changed later. Think of this step as holding a story pitch meeting with yourself. You're trying to convince yourself that this idea is worth writing. Step 3. Write a rough synopsis. Once I'm sure the story is worth pursuing, I move on to writing a rough synopsis. The goal here is to find the story within the chaos and identify the core conflict the characters will face. I usually focus on 4 key dimensions: who, what, how, and why. In other words, characters, plot, journey, and theme. Specifically, I ask myself, who are the characters? What are their inner conflicts and false beliefs? Why is each of them uniquely involved in this story? What is the core premise of the story? If you had only 30 seconds to explain it, what would you say? What kind of internal and external journey will the characters go through? What will they learn, and how will that change them? Why are you passionate about this theme? What truth do you want to express to the world? What deeper questions do you want to explore through the characters' journeys? Step 4. Create a key point outline. A key point outline is about taking the rough story idea in your head and breaking it down into major plot beats using a 3-act structure. It doesn't need to be detailed, but it helps you lock in the core of your story. Most importantly, it lets you clearly see how the character grows, the character arc, what the character's internal conflict is, how the character's transformation aligns perfectly with the story timeline. I often use the 3-act structure to build my outlines. 3-act structure has 10 key plot points. Act 1. Entering the story world. Hook. Grab the reader's attention from the start. Inciting incident. Disrupts the character's ordinary life. Initial conflict. The first real challenge. First turning point. The character decides to step into a new world. Act 2. Rising conflict. Reactive phase. The character is pushed along by events. Midpoint twist. A major shift changes the course of the story. Proactive phase. The character starts taking initiative. Act 3. Climax and resolution. At this stage, the protagonist goes through 3 crucial moments. Darkest moment. The greatest crisis. Total despair. Moment of realization. The solution becomes clear. Final confrontation. The conflict is finally resolved. Remember, once you lock down these 10 key points, your story has a solid skeleton to build on. Conclusion. The ending. I love this method because it's extremely flexible. You can expand it further if you want, or start writing immediately. Even though it's concise, the structure is solid. And that solid foundation saves you a lot of rewriting later, especially during revisions. Summary. From capturing inspiration, to organizing ideas, then to writing a rough synopsis and a key point outline, this is my complete preparation process for starting a new story. Remember, you don't need perfection at the beginning. What matters is starting to record your ideas and refining them step by step. If you'd like to learn more writing techniques, you're welcome to visit Cbell. Cbell offers in-depth writing tutorials, AI-powered creation tools, and an active community for discussion and feedback. Let's write the perfect story you've always wanted together on Cbell.